Okay, I hope everybody's having a blessed evening. I am sitting down here to begin another segment. I think we're going to go on over into powers before we go into like the specific things that the demons, like Lucifer, is pride. Before we go into Benfield's categories, we're going to make it on over into powers that way we can better understand it. Powers, these are authorities or forces that have operational power to influence individuals or communities. This term emphasizes their ability to affect outcomes and perpetuate harm or deceit on a spiritual, mental, or societal level. I want to use myself as an example, so don't nobody say that I'm pointing fingers at anybody. Plus, I can only understand what I go through. An example of this is somebody that manipulates. Usually, manipulation has something to do with emotions. Um, like some people, a man acts like he likes a girl, sends her through all these kind of hoops, but just to get her warm and fuzzy inside and get in her pocketbook and make her believe things that is not true so that he can get close to her, and then before you know it, he drops her, or she finds out that there's another female involved, or she finds out he's married or got children or got children. um, so it's some type of manipulation, it's wickedness, it's some type of emotion that's evoked, that influences the individual, or you have racism, influences communities, that anger, that pride. I remember I told you I was OCD. Sometimes my pride gets in the way. Sometimes if some people say that I cut off my nose to spite my face because I be so angry with something, I don't look at the other end, the better picture or whatever, because I'm looking at, face on, what's going on, what I ain't gonna stand for, what I ain't gonna put up with or whatever. But like I say, sometimes we have to learn to negotiate, sometimes we have to learn to compromise. But that's one thing I try not to do, is compromise God's word. I'm just not gonna be caught up in that. But like I say, powers, like Delilah used her seduction, that's a power, to manipulate Samson. And he knew what she was doing, but why he let her tell her the secret anyway and cut off his hair or whatever. Sometimes we don't know what people do. Love makes us do strange things, I guess. So we have that example. We also have Jezebel, and Ahab. Jezebel was able to turn Ahab away from his own God. That's how much power she had and how much influence she had. Eve, her influence was talking Adam into, convincing him to eat of the fruit, the forbidden fruit, with her. So that's a power. Um, Generally, it's an enemy or somebody who finds out our love language and they exercise through that. Our love language, there's 5 love languages. And the love language that it's how we receive love, how we receive, from others. Like I said before, my love language is time. Something I don't have a lot of. Time is something that I feel warm and fuzzy inside. When you spend time with me, um, you have patience and you spend time with me, because time is something you can't get back. Only God can redeem the time. So when people spend time with me, and genuine time, and talking to me, or showing me something, or my children spend time with me, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. um, I receive better versus just reading from a book, or you can give me gifts all day long, you can give me what I can already buy for myself. That don't you know really, don't really receive from that. That touch thing, I'm OCD. I don't like to touch germs and stuff. I got to be know you, and I got to be close to you in order to let you touch me. That kind of thing. None of the other love languages really appeal to me more than time. So usually when people get up under my skin, they're manipulating my time. It just taught somebody something. However they're manipulating you, they're using your love language to do it. So whatever your love language is, as soon as they find that out, they know how to use that thing to manipulate and get under your skin and cause you to go through uh, things that you don't need to be going through. You lose track of your common sense. You know. Um, so as an example, uh, people manipulate my time, waste my time. I can't stand that. Um, I'm a type of person that's loyal. I show up for you. I expect you to show up for me. There was an incident where we was going to take on something new at work. And, well, it was brought to my attention, and I was going to tackle it and embark on it because I had an individual who I knew was anointed for that. So we decided to go, the deep, and I was kind of concerned or curious as to whether this person was going to show up. And, I said, well, if they don't show up, I'm just going to go on and do it and go on because I'm going to be a woman of my word. And I'm just going to pray. And, I had another individual there with me that was very good at what she does. And I said, we just going to do this, whether he show up or not. So I was amazed, and it made my heart smile when I came around the corner to know that he was already there. And he was just pulled up before I got up. And, that made me feel really good that he showed up, that we was on the same page. I love when people show up because you don't find many people that show up for people anymore. Now, there's been a season that I've been going through that, everybody been going through something, and people ain't been showing up for each other. And, basically, normally I feel like I'm doing everything by myself. Like I said before in this internship, there was one or two occasions where I felt like I had help where I was working side by side with somebody, but most of the part, I've learned a lot on my own. I've been placed in situations where I've had to either sink or swim. And it's amazing how people have been able to benefit off of my knowledge and what I do and how I work and the things that I know. But when it comes to me being able to benefit off of it, something's always wrong with it. That's what I'm dealing with right now. So it's like my time was good for other people to get paid and, get credit and accolades and everything for. But now that it's on my schedule, that I'm doing it for myself to gain, my own insight to my own living, it's a problem with it. And, I feel like I wasted all this time, all these years, because it was good for everybody else, but it's not good for me. So that's a power. That's a negative power, a demonic influence that's coming against me, because it can't been good enough for everybody else, and all of a sudden it's not good enough for me when I'm trying to do it. But like I say, we're talking about powers that emphasize our ability to affect outcomes. I can't do stuff the right way, or I can't please everybody in it. And manipulating my time, it really makes me want to throw my hands up and just say forget it and go on about doing something else, because that's rooted in my OCD. Because OCD, I'm either going to do it or I'm not. I'm either in or I'm out. I'm hot or cold. I don't do that lukewarm too well, because lukewarm gets you in trouble. Scriptures say I'll spew you out my mouth. But, trying to that spirit of compromise, that straddling the fence, that gray area, I don't like that, because sometimes I get caught up. You tell somebody one thing and you tell somebody, you just get caught up like that. That's why I try to straight and narrow. People say I'm too serious sometimes. I don't like to manipulate nobody, because I don't like to be manipulated. I like to do unto others as I would have them do unto me. So if I don't like that being done to me, I ain't going to do it to nobody. So when people manipulate my time, when they waste my time, or, like when I'm doing everything all I can, I try to get my notes done, in, so ain't nobody got to wait on me, because I wouldn't want to wait on nobody. So I get my notes in and everything, and then when payday come, I expect to be paid on time. Sometimes that don't happen. Or something is wrong with the note, or something, or this got to be done, or that's got to be done. If I show up for you and I show up on time for you, I expect to be you to show up on time for me. So that's, like I said, that's a power. That manipulation is a power that is used to break somebody down. Whether it's, time, whether it's, I was talking to a young man a while ago that he got so much unforgiveness and hate in his heart because his father kept telling him he was going to do something, was going to buy something for him. And then when it came down to it, he never did it so many times. So he was manipulating him on the phone, telling him, well, I'm going to buy this. What you want? I'm going to get you this Christmas gift, get you that Christmas gift. And Christmas show up and everything show up but what his father said that he was going to give him or whatever. So he was manipulating that young man to the point that he don't even want to forgive his father no more. He don't want to see his father. He don't want to talk to his father. He don't want nothing to do with his father because his father is not a man of his word. That he didn't show up for him. Just something simple as show up. If he didn't have the gift, just show up. He didn't even just show up. I'm big on people showing up in my life. If people don't show up in my life as much as I show up for them in their life, or show up at all, I get bored. I go some other way. I can't get faithful or be loyal to somebody that I'm showing up more than you showing up for me. If I'm showing up, giving my best, my due diligence, and you are prospering off of me, but when it's time for you to show up for me so that I can do what I need to do, I have a problem with that. There's been a lot of situations where people haven't shown up for me, and it's caused me to have to lose stuff, pay fees or whatever. So I have gotten, quiet. I have gotten set in my ways because I'm going through some things right now. I'm making some decisions on my own. I've had people, just trust me, just trust me, that trust. I'm big on that trust. I give them a little bit, but, to the point now I'm in a situation I can't trust no more. I got to, pull up my big panties and do what I need to do for me in my house. So I'm not trusting anymore. I'm doing what I know I got to do before I lose it all. So I'm in the position to where I'm taking back my power. I'm standing for me in my house. I'm being accountable for me in my house. I'm not trusting nobody. Like I said, I already said I had trust issues, and I already said I have submitting issues. So I know it'll get done if I do it. To the best of my ability, it'll get done. As long as God give me grace, as long as God give me favor, it'll get done. I ain't got to worry about nobody else. That's one of the major reasons why I am not with anybody or married to anybody, is because I can't trust people to show up. I'm always manipulated. I'm always told that they're going to do something and they don't show up to do it. And if they do show up to do it, it ain't on time. It's on their schedule. It's like disrespect. It's whenever they feel like, they don't hold me accountable enough, to give it on time or make sure I get what I need on time. So if people don't be on time for me and I'm being on time for them all the time, my cup drains. So that's a power that's always being used to manipulate me. So I'm just saying, this is my example, my journey. I don't know what power is being used to manipulate you. But like I say, take the substance and apply it to your life. What is the power that's being used to manipulate you? What is being said that's always coming to you and never being done? What's holding your power? What's holding you back? When you have to deal with other people, other sources, other, forces, like I say, it's the spirit, not the person. It's the spirit behind the person. It's the entity behind the person. Half the time, the person don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know that they rubbing you that way, the wrong way. They just don't being them. That's just how they roll, until you bring it to their attention, But some things just is common sense. If people do a service, they ought to be rewarded or paid for it. Point blank, period. There are some nations that we don't have to deal with that. And then there are some nations that, want to be family and we supposed to deal with everything. We don't make resumes to get family. And like I say, there's certain things that nations believe that we just supposed to put up with because well, we are the same nation. That's why I was talking to somebody a week ago, and they were saying that's the reason why they don't even do their own nation. That uh, they done went to another nation and they deal with other nations because their own nation, they can't trust them, to do what they supposed to do. I said, I ain't sold out all the way like that. I'll say I deal with my clinical because I want to make sure my number is okay. I ain't got to worry about, looking over my back, over my shoulder for my number or whatever. But I ain't gave up on my people yet. So, it's not just, it's a power. It's, like I was talking about the young man, he was experiencing certain things from his own nation that he felt he shouldn't experience that. And he got tired of experiencing that. But then again, the young man never said anything either. So we don't know if that person would change or, if he stood up for himself, would they say something? And then that was the fear. If he stood up for himself, how far would it have to go? Would he have to lose his composure? Would he have to get angry? Would he have to end up himself somewhere he didn't want to end up, locked up somewhere? How far would it have to go? Some things should just be, known. If I do something for you, and you're supposed to do something for me. If I borrow something, I'm supposed to give it back at the time frame that I'm supposed to give it back, not just keep it so long that you got to borrow it back. Stuff like that. So, like I said, there's powers that we use, that people use to manipulate us or we use to manipulate others. Lying is a power. We get people to believe what we want to believe and want them to believe. And then when it doesn't come to pass, we just think of something else. Well, I didn't say that. You always can find a liar. I can't trust a liar. That's somebody full of the father of lies. If you lie to me once, it makes me suspect to trust you again or whatever. And if I can't trust you, I can't rock with you because I can't be in a place where I'm always looking over my shoulder or trying to check this and check if this I is dotted or this T is crossed. That raises my blood sugar. That's just too much. I got to be in a space where I can trust. If I can't trust, I got to roll. But there are all different kind of powers that are working, in our favor and against our favor. Like I say, women, we use seduction. We use seduction to get all up in that man's pocketbook and, get all what we want. And, if that's your husband, that's one thing. And you doing it to uplift y'all house, y'all benefit, y'all kingdom together, that's one thing. But if you're using it just to benefit you and be selfish and take that man down, something wrong with you. Shame on you. Because what you do unto others is going to be done unto you. So make sure you're not using your power to manipulate and take down your spouse or your brother or your sister or anything like that. Don't do evil because what you put out. The energy that you put out is the energy that you are calling and you're going to get back on you. That's the reason why I don't put out energy like that. If, I see something's coming against me that's wrong, I just walk away and let God take care of it. Let it just work itself out. Let it run its course. I don't add to and I don't take away. I let things happen. People always think I'm going off saying this and saying that and doing this and this person come down and this person come down. I don't have nothing to do with that. When I get tired, I just walk. Now, all these people that's threatening me and trying to say, you do this, I'll bring you this, and I'll take you down or whatever. You ain't got to worry about taking me down because I ain't doing nothing. I just going on. I would rather spend my energy building my kingdom elsewhere than to spend my energy trying to take you down. That's just not me. Because God got that. He say vengeance is mine. So I'm going to let God take care of that. So I don't use my power for the negative. I use my power for the positive because I want positive to come back to me. I walk in love and kindness have I drawn thee. And, I can't draw nobody if I'm turning around pointing fingers at them doing them wrong all the time. That's why I have favor the way I do, because I run around treating everybody right. I take pride in treating everybody right. I know pride is a sin, God working on me, but I'd rather take pride in something good than take pride in something bad. I don't want to see my brother or my sister taken down. I don't want to see nobody, in ruins or whatever, because I wouldn't want nobody to see me in ruins. He said, count it all joy when you fall into dire diverse places or whatever, I do count it all joy, because I know on the other side of that is my promotion. It's something for me to go through. It's not because I want to see my brother or my sister go down, or I would hope that my brother and my sister wouldn't want to see me go down. But you got those that some that they just love to see you going through. I got some people around me that love to see that I'm going through what I'm going through. They love to see that my car, what I'm dealing with my car. They just wait until it's on the side of the road. But you can't promote yourself, or you can't be promoted unless you got a hater. So I love my haters. They keep me, abreast. They keep me on my toes. They keep me where I need to be. But like I say, I want to jump on here and talk about powers. Powers work through, basically, predominantly through your love language. Whatever your love language is the way that the enemy can tap in and get to you. Your love language is, like I said before, is the way you receive. How do you receive? How does, something make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside? That smile that comes across your face or comes across your heart, that light bulb that goes on top of your head, aha moment, and then you feel like you on top of the world getting whatever it is that you wanted or you desire. As soon as you get your love language, as soon as your love language is exposed or opened up, that's how people can come in and manipulate and ridicule you. They can come in and just change your havoc in your world, because they know, like I say, somebody can spend time with me, and I get used to it. And if I let my guard down and they're spending time with me, and next thing you know, God knows whatever's going on, whatever happened or whatever. Generally, they try to do something, and I ain't gonna let that happen, because I understand they bring spirits. So it don't go that far with me. I always have something that wake me up, unless I know that this is gonna be something. And that's why I say I always wait till, that ring is on that finger, married, because I know ain't nobody going to want to do that. Not in this day and time or whatever. So if they got any agenda, they ain't going to stay long. So, and that's another thing. I like to use my power to say certain things so people, they know it's like my wall is up. I say certain things to keep my wall up so that they don't bother me. Now, if they got enough power and they the one that God has sent, they'll know how to knock down that wall and do what they need to do. So I just want to come on here and talk about powers. I try to keep it in bite-sized pieces. We're talking about powers, and you got to protect your love language. That's a wall you got to protect. A gate you got to protect. Protect your love language, because if they know that button to push, they can get in there and push it and cause all kind of havoc in your life. Get your pocketbook, your house, your kids, your everything. So protect your love language. Like I say, I'm gonna cut this short. I just want to pop on here and talk about powers, because without understanding powers, we're not going to be able to understand how the entities like us, Lucifer, governs pride. How Lucifer can come in and use pride, and how he can cause you to use pride, against your love language or with your love language, and cause you to be prideful and miss out on your blessing, because pride is a sin. I know. I'm prideful in giving God the glory. I'm prideful in being kind. I'm prideful in being the opposite of what I've seen. I'm prideful in being, different. I'm prideful in being the one that's positive and walk in love. Everybody can't handle that. I'm prideful in it. I'm prideful in doing you so well to where when you do me wrong and I walk off, it hit different. When you lose access to me, it hit different. I know, like I say, he working on me. He working on me. And it's not that I don't have unforgiveness. I can forgive you and love you from a distance. I take pride in that. And I know I got to work on myself. But just hearing and seeing the look on your face when you know that I meant you no harm, I did you no wrong, and you done me wrong. You was the Judas in my life. It hits different. you don't tend to want to do that to nobody else, because when that sorrow hits, it's a feeling that you'll never forget. Never ever forget. So that's my power that I use. I love you so good. I love you so right, to the point when you do me wrong, it hurts you. It kills you softly. I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I am supposed to do that. I am supposed to love you, whether you're my enemy or not. I'm supposed to love you. And I try to love you so well to where you don't know how you ever gonna live without me or whatever. But like I said, I love what I do. I love talking to people. I love making people's hearts smile. And when they cross me, that's the power. I walk away. I ain't got to spend my energy, my time trying to take you down, because that's a lot of work. Rebellion is a lot of work. You know, revenge is a lot of work, because you trying to take somebody down, and who knows how they gonna get, or if they're ever gonna go down, or if anything, you just wasting a lot of time. There are people in life that are trying to pull people down, and they sitting there wasting their time, sitting there holding a grudge, feeling a full of anger, trying to make sure this individual go down, and that individual ain't gone down. That individual is just stubborn enough to just keep on living, I guess. So I'm not gonna waste my time. That's my love language. I'm trying to say, I'm not gonna waste my love language trying to pull somebody or take somebody down. I'm just gonna walk away and do me. There's a few people now that I heard somebody the other day tell me that so and so regrets that I ever walked away. So and so regrets that he made the decision that he made, and now he's living less than he ever lived before, because he took I'm not accountable for something with him anymore. He took it away from me. I don't have to worry about the responsibility anymore. And now he wish he had left me with it, because the person who has it is running him through the mud, and he's living worse than he ever lived in his life. So that ain't me. You know, that ain't me. It ain't on my hands. You know, that blood ain't on my hands. It was on his own decision. He did it, and I'm clean. I'm free for that. So now he made that bed. Now he got to lie in it, and I'm just that way. Loving from a distance. No, will I pick it up? No. If he asked to help, God tell me to help him with something, yeah, I got forgiveness, I help or whatever. But I don't have that responsibility. I don't have that on my hands anymore. So, like I say, that's how power works. In my situation, you know, I use love, and I use joy, and I use doing people right and kindness. That's what I use my power for. And like I say, when they cross me, it hurts. It hits different, because you realize that I was genuine in what I was doing. And I ain't gonna say it's gonna take forever to get back, if ever to get back. I ain't gonna say I hold a grudge. I ain't gonna say I have unforgiveness. But if God never turned my heart that way, it may never be. You may have to wait till somebody else genuine come along. And nowadays, I don't know how many genuine people you gonna find, because nowadays everybody is every man or woman for themselves. It's such a selfish society now. Ever since the pandemic, you know, all that's going on, you know, with everything that's going on in the world and social media, you don't know who you're going to find is genuine. So, like I say, that's how I use my power. I will love you to life. And then, like I say, when you cross me, I'm gone. And like I say, you know it, because how many times you ever had a person in your life that ain't trying to break you down or hurt you? You know, especially somebody that's been broken. They know that when they find a real one and they mess around there and lie to them or cross them, they know they done made a mistake. I just heard a couple of days ago an individual that realized that they made a mistake and they wanted to commit suicide. I don't know if they did or not. But that's how the pain is. That's how bad the sorrow is. When you really meet one that's, for, you know, a child of God for real, and you mess around there and cross them, you know, touch not thine anointed, do thy prophet no harm. You know, that's scripture. So when you are a genuine child of God and somebody crosses you, God gets the vengeance. So that's a power that is used, but is used by God. He just say you walk away. He'll take care of it. He'll say vengeance is mine. And you just going on to spend your energy rebuilding your life or building your life in another avenue. Don't waste no time or energy in trying to pull that person down, because you may not ever pull that person down, and you done wasted your life trying to get back at that person. And can't nobody get them better than God can get them. So use your power, reserve your power to build your life in your kingdom, and not to use and pull anybody else down. Like I said, this is a good place to cut this. That way it don't take so long to upload. That's why I say the videos, they still, every time I'm uploading that one now. And as I upload, I just do another one because it takes so long for them to upload. And like I say, one of these days, pretty soon, I should have my own internet again. And I ain't got to worry about that all the time no more. But anyway, like I said, y'all be encouraged and stay strong. Yeah, it's time to cut this. Y'all stay blessed.